We are watching a series of videos where we are creating a product strategy and roadmap using AHA. We have created a list of features. Now, through the process of prioritization of user journey goal, user journey map, and features, the relevant features need to be aggregated together to what is called a release. A release is essentially a project where these features are delivered. Note that release not only consists of the delivery of the features, but also other associated activities that need to be done in a project to deliver the features. For example, mobilization of resources, setting up infrastructure, etc. So release needs to be treated as a project rather than just a product development exercise. So there are two example releases that are there available in AHA. Will not disturb the example releases, but you can use the example releases for reference. For example, if you see release 1, you see review product strategy, prioritization of customer ideas, add engineering requests, etc. All of these are not necessarily development of features, but they are needed to deliver the features. So similar kind of activities which you think are needed to deliver the feature will also form a part of the release roadmap. We will create a new release. We call this MVP release. We can provide a release date. Let's say our MVP release is on 30th of September or maybe on 1st of October. You can define a theme in one of the theories that we have discussed on product management. The concept of theme has been explained. And we can just use the default template and just create the release. This is the MVP release. And within the MVP release, I can add different activities. So these are the standard activities that are already there. Now, if we want some of these activities that are not relevant, let's say add engineering request, it's not relevant, I can remove this also. I can edit the phase details and remove it. As of now, I am not editing anything. What we need to do is we need to add the features under the development section. Once the feature prioritization has been done, which is a separate exercise that the product manager does, considering the priority of the product as well as the capacity of the team, we need to assign the release to the features. So if you go to each of these features, you can assign the release to the feature. So here you see right now it is in the parking lot. And if you go over here, our release is already there. And let's assume that all the features that we have identified in the example part of the release. By the way, there are other things in the features. For example, I can define the requirements. As far as the agile methodology like SAFe, there is no specific term called requirement. Many people prefer to map the user stories under the requirement. I can create different requirements, and each of these requirements can be a user story. And then these user stories can be taken to other tools like Jira, which are more used for implementation of the user stories through an agile methodology. There are other tabs like related. For example, I can add an initiative or a goal over here. So any initiative or goal relates to initiative or goal. It may also relate to a feature. It may be dependent on a feature. There may be dependencies. All of these links can be created over here. So as a to-dos typically relate to task. So those of you who are familiar with agile methodology know that tasks are activities that you do to deliver a user story. So you can define some of the tasks over here. as of for this video, I'm not going to work on this. I'm just going to add the release over here. It's the release details. I'm considering that all of these features are going in my minimum viable product. In reality, obviously, there'll be a prioritization activity, and not all of them may go into the MVP. So as you can see that as I'm adding these releases, MVP release to each of these features, I'm moving from the parking lot to the specific release, which is the MVP release. With all of this, this. So all of these features are now a part of the MVP release. You now go to the user story map, you'll see now all of these features are a part of MVP release. If any of these features were not included a part of the MVP release, it would not have shown under MVP release, it will be lying in the parking lot. So now the features that you need to deliver under the development phase need to be assigned to the development phase. How do we do it? Go over here, edit phase details. And in the related section, you can add features. I've already added create shopping cart. So the list of features that can be added comes over here. So let's say search products. So all these features will be delivered through the development phase. As you can see, development phase is the phase that is related to product development, but the MVP release, which is a project, will consist of many other activities that are not necessarily a part of the product. So we have added all the features. So all these features are added over here. And just to make things understandable a little bit, I can drag and drop these products over here. You can now see that all the features are assigned to the development phase. It takes a little bit of time to get updated. You can define the timeline for each of these features, and that will create a Gantt chart. So you can go to the features, feature board, and define the timeline over here. Payment. So it has taken some default timeline based on the overall timeline that you have given for the MVP release. And if you want, you can change the timeline based on that. So go back to the Gantt chart. It will give me a Gantt chart for the features to be delivered. If you want, you can create some dependencies that will create a proper Gantt chart, which typically you find in a typical project management scenario. So this is how you assign the features to the different phases of a project.